Hello viewers, here is a showing of the lighting in the kitchen and the dining room as of March 2023. There's actually quite an array of different and unusual light bulbs in here. We'll start with the more common stuff. On the left side of the kitchen there are 4 60-watt equivalent halogen light bulbs which draw 43 watts apiece. And then on the right side of the kitchen there are 3 50-watt equivalent halogen bulbs that draw 39 watts, and those are, I believe, par 20s or par 40. I always get confused with what the number. I think it's a par 20. You get those, and then on top of the refrigerator there is a 100-watt equivalent CFL, which I believe draws 23 watts. I think. I'm not completely certain. I don't know if we can tell. Is that the information's there? No, not such luck. Well, whatever it is. There's that. And then on the counter there is a cold cathode fluorescent light, which is a CCFL. It is a 3-watt bulb, which I believe has a incandescent equivalence, for whatever that's worth, of 25 watts. Over the stove there is a 100-watt incandescent equivalent halogen light bulb which draws 72 watts, and these are all the EcoSmart bulbs from the Home Depot. In the ceiling fans there are, both fans have the same bulb. It is a Sylvania. It's hard to believe. It's a stinking LED bulb. It is that vintage bulb that I showed maybe a month or two ago. It's a 40 watts equivalent bulb, and I believe it draws 3.9 watts or something like that. Very minimal power draw. And this is the only place where there's an LED light bulb here in the kitchen and dining room. The reason I put these in is because these fans are not very good quality and there's a lot of vibration, and so it was burning through the incandescent bulbs really way too quick. So I put these in here. I happen to have them on hand and I deemed them satisfactory. They don't really seem to have any visible flicker to me. It appears like on the camera preview screen that there's somewhat of a flicker, but I don't see it. I don't see any banding on the camera, so I'm pretty sure these are pretty much okay as far as the flicker is concerned, which is the main reason why I don't like the LEDs. And these are, I believe, rated for 2100 Kelvin, so they're a nice, pleasant, warm color. Now, interestingly enough, the 60 watts version of this light bulb I cannot use. It flickers horrendously. But these 40 watts ones seem to be okay, and they work just fine for the ceiling fans. I haven't gotten a headache from them yet, and it could just be because they don't really provide much light into the room. They're more so just kind of accent lights to illuminate the fans. But for what it's worth, they work just fine. Same bulb in this fan. And then over here we get into the more interesting stuff. Well, that CCFL over there is interesting too. But this is a Philips Marathon circline fluorescent bulb. Here's the information. It is I believe it's a 39 watt, no, it's a 32 watts bulb, and I think that the incandescence equivalence is 135 or so it claims, which is kind of dopey because I mean maybe they exist, I don't know, but I've certainly never seen a 135 watt light bulb before. This has really nice illumination to it. I like the color of it. It's kind of like a yellowy color, but it's not like a dirty, like some of the very early CFLs had like a dirty yellow color to it. This is a very crisp light, but it's very warm. I think it's actually warmer than incandescent. Yeah, it is a little bit. Very, very pleasant. It's bright, but it's very pleasant. So I like that bulb quite a bit. And this lamp, this hanging lamp, came from my grandparents' old kitchen. It was in their kitchen for as long as I can remember. And then when they uglified the kitchen, it was stashed away in the attic for some reason, I don't know why. And then eventually my grandfather gave it to me, and now it's here. So we have that white, and then over here we have a General Electric 2D, two-dimensional, three-way fluorescent light bulb. And this is I think it's a 39 watt equivalent. I think it's 15, 23, and 39, I think. I could be wrong. But it's supposed to be, I want to say 50, 100, 150 watts equivalents. You know what, I should just go and grab the package because I probably have got that totally wrong. I know where the box is, it's just right on the corner here. Okay. Oh, actually I was pretty close. 15, 25, and 39 watts of power draw for 50 watt equivalents, 100 watt equivalents, and 150 watt equivalents. And then actually here's the, just because they're here, here's the boxes for those CCFLs 2700K light bulbs. Okay, so this is what the kitchen looked like with all the lights on. It's very bright, which you need in the kitchen because when you're doing tasks you need a good light. So now I'll go ahead and turn off these lights, and I'll turn off these lights, and we'll transition to more of a relaxing evening atmosphere here in the kitchen. This is often how I use it, just with the lamp over there on, and then the fan, and eventually I'll install under cabinet lighting, and that'll look really nice, but I haven't got around to that yet. So this is how the kitchen typically sits in the evening. It's just a nice soft warm glow. It's enough to, it looks bright on the camera, but it's not that bright in the person. It's enough to go in here and grab a bowl or a piece of food or whatever, but it's not blinding bright. And then over here, this bulb, I typically run it at full power because the color temperature changes drastically. To go down to low, well actually now that it's warmed up, oh that's fascinating. Huh, that is really interesting. When the bulb is cold, the lowest setting is a very cool white. It's almost like a bluish color. I would say it's got to be 5,000 or 6,000 Kelvin. And then the medium setting is warmer. It's like a bright white, like a 3,000 or 4,000 Kelvin. And then once you get to the high setting, it turns into the color it is now, which is very close to incandescent. I'd say it's right at 2700K, you know, more or less. It looks like an incandescent bulb. So I typically put it on all the way so that it matches that. But it is really quite bright, much brighter than necessary. So I should try turning it on low when it's cold and see how long it takes for it to turn warm, because now it matches there just fine. It's the right color. Huh, that is really interesting. So then here's this area with the lights turned down a bit. And then a lot of times I'll even turn this off and turn this off, and I just have this on. I kind of like that. I really enjoy these hanging lamps, especially this one having the sentimental value to it. So this is what the kitchen looks like with the low light setting. The table is lit up nicely, and that's like that. And you can see this lamp. I like that you can see this lamp from in here. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to put that there, because when you're here in the living room, you can still see it. So I can enjoy it in the living room and in the kitchen. So I think that pretty much wraps up the lighting in the kitchen. A lot of neat older light bulbs in here from the 90s and the 2000s. It draws a lot of power, but who cares? It's good quality light that's reliable and pleasant.